This is my 2026 travel camera kit, and in today's video I will be showing you everything that I did bring with me to my trip to Cornwall. I got to admit, halfway through that trip I did seriously start to regret a lot of the things that I did bring with me, which you will find out later on in the video. So it's our first day in Cornwall. We're here for my birthday and we just come down and we got an absolutely incredible sunset. It looks so nice. We just walked down and got the end of it. And in today's video, I actually want to talk about my travel camera bag. The first thing that we're talking about is my Canon R6 Mark III. That is my main travel camera, and I was using mainly my 28-70 f2.8, but we'll get into the rest of my travel kit later. I'm just going to head back up to the caravan now and have a chilled night in. That footage was captured on my R6 Mark III with the 28-70 and my Freewell ND filter 3-7 stop. Got some great stills as well, and yeah, looking forward to the rest of the trip. So like I said, my main camera was the Canon R6 Mark III. I absolutely love this beast of a camera, and pairing it with the 28-70 was an absolute joy. This is probably my favorite lens now, mainly because obviously it's f2.8 throughout and it's 28-70, so it's got such a nice versatile zoom range. But my favorite thing about this lens is just the size and weight. This is the perfect travel camera lens because the 24-70 was something that I was and ahhing, but it's double the price of the 28-70 and it's near enough double the weight, and it's a lot bigger as well. So if you was to bring that with you on holiday and traveling a lot, it's just going to add that extra little bit of weight to your setup, which you probably don't really want if you're going to be carrying it around with you for the majority of most days. And the image quality out of the 28-70, I've got to admit, is amazing. Like, looking at some of that footage, the footage looks incredible. Obviously having C-Log 2, and I actually shot a lot of it in 1080p, so that 1080p looks really nice. And a lot of the time most people out there won't be able to tell the difference between the 28-70 and the 24-70. Obviously you do miss out on the 24mm look, which is nice and wide for like landscapes if you are going on holiday. But I've got to admit, even though the footage is so good and I love the R6 Mark III, I really am considering using my C50 for my travel camera now, which I'm shooting on now. But the reason why I'm considering bringing the C50 with me going forward on travel kits is just because I cannot stand the in-body image stabilization in the R6 Mark III. I just think, especially with a lot of the vlog shots, the warping in the edges, even like from 35mm sometimes, you can really see some weird warpiness going on when I'm trying to get handheld shots. And a lot of the time, the handheld look, I used to think having IBIS was a must-have because obviously you're shooting handheld and you want it to be stable. The C50 not having IBIS and being paired with an IS lens like the 24-70, or 28-70 I should say, is such a more natural or an authentic look. Looking back at some of this footage, I'm a little bit gutted that there's no way of turning it off, because I really don't like the IBIS in this camera. And if people say that C50 not having IBIS is a bad thing, it is absolutely 100% a great thing not having IBIS, only if you do have an image stabilized lens. If you're using like a 24mm 1.4 which doesn't have IS, then yes, it's going to be probably shaky unless you use digital IS, which isn't actually that bad anyway. The IBIS in the R6 Mark III just isn't it. It's amazing for photos, but when it comes to video, I can't stand it. I just think it looks so ugly, and it is just a little bit disappointing and there's no way of turning it off. So we're on day 2 now of this trip down in Cornwall, and today we're in St Ives and we're just having a nice little stroll on the beach. I just had an incredible breakfast back, which was so good. If I'm being honest, this travel camera kit that I have brought with me to Cornwall, I wouldn't actually recommend to you guys, but I'm going to tell you what it is anyway. I am bringing quite a lot of stuff. My main camera bag is actually the Pete McKinnon Gammatic sling. That's because I can fit my R6 Mark III with my free lenses actually, and I've got a pocket free, and I've got my action camera as well. The main one, obviously, my R6 Mark III, the reason why I want to bring that is because it's probably one of the most perfect hybrid cameras out there. It's so good for stills, so good for video, and it's obviously got a viewfinder, whereas my C50 doesn't have a viewfinder, so it's better for obviously taking photos. At the minute, I'm using the 16-28mm f2.8 to vlog this with, and then also, which is the one that I probably don't recommend bringing, is the RF 7200 f2.8 as well, mainly because it is quite heavy and it is quite a niche lens. I'm not going to do crazy amounts on holiday because I do want to just chill out and enjoy myself, but when I am out in St Ives in a beautiful place like this, I really don't want to not bring my camera because I know I'll regret it. So like I said, on day 2 when I went to St Ives, I was getting pretty annoyed with how heavy my setup was. And even though this used to be my favorite lens, my 70-200 f2.8, I think my biggest takeaway from this trip is definitely just don't overpack and definitely have a lighter setup. Because if you're going to be carrying around a 70-200, an R6 Mark III, a 28-70 and a 16-28, I mean, that was really stupid for me, to be honest. Bringing 3 lenses when I know I'm not really going to be creating that much content because I just want to try and enjoy my holiday, get a few nice photos here and there, make a little video for like YouTube, for example. I don't need a 70-200 f2.8. And the great thing about the R6 Mark III and the C50, whichever one I did bring, is that I know I was shooting a lot in 1080p, but because they have a 7K sensor, if you shoot in 4K and actually use Super 35 mode on the C50 or 1.6 times mode on the R6 Mark III, you can still get like a really nice 4K, like 1080p image in that crop mode. So if I was using 28-70, I could probably even get like a 100mm, 120mm look. But for the little times where I did actually use the 70-200, it just wasn't worth it. And having this over my neck and my shoulder throughout the whole like trip was just not worth it to me. The same with the 16-28, using the 16-28 just for a few vlog shots, so I can shoot in C-Log 2 in 1080p anyway for a full frame look, when I even said I hate the IBIS in this anyway. So I would have much preferred using my DJI Pocket 3 for vlogging, because look how light and small this is. Like I said, my biggest takeaway from this, even though this is my travel camera kit, and by all means, if you want to bring all this stuff to get some really nice travel content, if the whole purpose of the trip is to make a sick like travel documentary-ish cinematic video, then yes, bring all this stuff. If it's a bit heavy, it doesn't matter, because you need the tools to be able to create what you want. But like I said, if it is literally just for travel, a family holiday, bringing all this stuff for me was just completely pointless. And by the end, I was actually getting really annoyed. You'll end up not enjoying something that you love. Like, I love filmmaking, I love photography, and on that trip, I didn't love it.
So we just came down here to go onto the beach, and the tide is completely in and we can't get on. So we've got our little setup looking out to the sea with our little trolley, because this is incredible. This is like the best idea Amy had. This is my film cart trolley, and we've literally shoved my camera bag, my drone, we had our 2 chairs in there, we've got blankets, and it's literally so good because we don't have to carry anything. You just drag it all the way down to the beach. We're just literally going to wait up here for a bit. It might even be like an hour. But St Ives was nice earlier. I didn't actually film a lot or take any photos there really, because that setup that I had with them 3 lenses and this camera, that bag was just way too heavy. So like I said, I definitely do not recommend you bringing all of that kit with you to when you do go traveling, because even though that's what I brought on this trip, I definitely don't recommend you doing it, because it is just way too heavy, and I just didn't enjoy myself. So I think the perfect kit, to be honest, is the Pocket 3 and new Pocket 4 that's just come out. That is my perfect travel camera kit. I think next time I'm definitely just going to bring that only, just because I want to still enjoy myself when I am on holiday. For now, we're just going to chill here by the sea, wait for that tide to come in. Hopefully it won't be too long, and then hopefully wait for an amazing sunset.
Now, one thing that I don't mind bringing with me, so on top of all of that kit, I also brought my DJI Air 3S drone. Now, again, this is probably a bit too much, because if I want to keep the most lightweight setup, you would think, well, use a mini drone, which makes perfect sense. But the one thing I don't mind bringing the Air 3S for is just because of how amazing this drone is. And it has to do with the ×3 telephoto camera. That telephoto camera just makes for such cool and more dynamic shots. If you have just a mini drone, obviously you only really have, I think it's 24mm on the wide end, and that's it, which obviously that's all you need for a drone shot really at the end of the day, to show the amazing landscape. But when you start using a telephoto lens on a drone, you can really get some cool and creative shots with that 70mm lens. It just makes it a lot more creative, it's a lot more fun, and you can get some really cool stuff. And also another thing is, the reason why I love bringing the Air 3S over like a mini drone is when I was on like the cliffside of Cornwall, it was very windy, and this is an absolute beast in the wind. Like, it is so like strong. And if I brought a mini drone, I've got to admit, I went to Land's End a couple years ago with my Mini 2, and I really wanted to fly it over the cliffs, over the water, to shoot back at us on Land's End. and I just didn't trust the drone, and I didn't use it in the end because it was just too windy. But with the Air 3S, I would have 100% trusted that because it is such a beast in the wind, and it is just so much stronger. The battery life is also a lot stronger as well, so I could just get away with just bringing one battery a day and then charging it at night at home rather than bringing two, so I can keep my lightweight setup that way, and I can fit it in my Peter McKinnon bag if I did want. I can still fit this where my 7200 went, and I can also fit my controller and just one battery in the drone anyway, so I can fit it all in one bag if I want. And the footage out of this drone from that sunset, it was absolutely incredible. I absolutely loved getting any sunset shots. I just love, and I love getting it on the drone especially. But after we got the amazing drone footage of that sunset, I did actually go down again to the beach, and this is definitely where I did regret not bringing my camera, which you'll find out why in a minute. So I've gone from a lot of regrets on this trip, from bringing too much kit to not bringing enough kit, and yeah, I just went down with my pocket free, and you'll find out why in a minute. So currently on day 4 in Cornwall, and to be honest, I've kind of resorted now to just bringing my pocket free along with me, because it is very heavy carrying around that huge R6 Mark III and them 3 lenses. Don't get me wrong, like, you can get some amazing footage out of it, but I just don't think it's worth the carry and the weight, and it felt like it got in the way. And every time I felt like I pulled it out to change the ND filter, when I changed lenses, it just felt too much, especially for being on holiday. Maybe for stuff like travel and when the purpose of the trip is to get some cool content, or if I'm making a video from it. But if I'm just on holiday like I am now and I want to try and enjoy myself, sometimes I think bringing all that kit is a little bit of a hindrance, and that's why I said yesterday I don't actually recommend you bring all this stuff for travel. You want to enjoy the experience and actually live in the moment, and not just constantly worrying about getting a cool shot or getting a cool photo and changing lenses. What lenses should I use? I think for stuff like that, and even with a lot of travel, one camera and one lens. That's why I said I wish I bought my R6 Mark III and just my 28-70. It's a 7K downsampled sensor, so I can just crop into 1.6 times and get like a 100mm look anyway if I did want to get more zoomed in. And that's why I think I've resulted into just using the pocket free for the last 2 days, just because it's so easy and so good to just put in your pocket, get some nice stable footage shots out of it. The image quality looks amazing, and it's not getting in my way, it's not too heavy, and that's why I do think it's the perfect travel camera, especially for like holidays. But one thing that I don't mind doing and don't mind bringing is my DJI Air 3S drone. I brought that with me now down to the beach because I want to get some cool drone shots of this beach. I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my chill day on the beach now, get some drone shots up in a minute. This is going to be very cold. Oh, this is freezing. So I just got the drone up, and it looks so cool. That's why I love the F3S, because you can get some absolutely insane shots of it, and it's just a lot of fun to use. I'm just walking to the sea now, and annoyingly I didn't bring my camera today down here, and what are the odds? There was 2 horses sprinting through one of the lakes, like down there from the sea. It would have looked so sick in slow-mo. Maybe you should always bring your kit with you no matter what camera. And to be fair, with stuff like that, I probably will always bring my R6 Mark III and a 28-70 at least, because like I said, at least I can zoom in on the Super 35 mode or 1.6 times crop mode. Because it's 7K downsampled, it will still be a really nice high quality image. So maybe the lesson from this is to just not overpack like I did, and just pack the absolute essentials, because you never know what you're going to get. From now on, I'm definitely going to always bring my R6 Mark III and a 28-70 with my pocket as well. Imagine that in 4K 100p. This is why you should always bring your camera. That is so annoying. That looks so cool. If I have my 7200 4K 100p with them running in that sea, it is what it is, isn't it? You always learn. And one time I don't bring it, you get horses running in on the beach, in the sea, splashing up water. It is what it is.
So I can't believe the one time where I didn't bring my kit because I thought I'm just going down to the beach. I've already been on this beach like 2 or 3 times and got content on it. Why would I need to bring my full frame camera again? But I'll bring my pocket just in case because it is so light. And that's why I love the pocket camera, because this can go absolutely everywhere with you because you can just put it in your pocket and it's still amazing. But the one time I didn't bring all of my kit, or even just my R6 Mark III with the 28-70, you get horses running through a lake on the beach with water splashing up in the air. Like I said, oh my God, that would have been amazing in like 100 frames per second in 4K or whatever. Just seeing that. Using the 7200 as well, that's the one thing would have been absolutely incredible to like shoot it on. It is what it is at the end of the day. I'm kind of glad I didn't bring it down, and I'm kind of glad it happened, because going forward now, at the end of that, or the start of that trip, I was like, every time I go on holiday, I'm only going to bring my Pocket now. Especially if they did bring a Pocket 4, or if they are bringing a Pocket 4 Pro out, I just don't know when it's coming out. Or that new Insta360 Lunar camera, because they have the telephoto lenses on them, similar to the Air 3S. That's why I love the Air 3S, because you've got a wide and a tight camera. Well, now you're getting that on these Pocket cameras as well. I still think the perfect travel camera kit for when I'm going away, no matter where I go, is I'm always going to bring some sort of full frame camera and this 28-70 f2.8. Just that like little day on the beach where I didn't bring these and them horses come down is enough of a reason to always make sure I have this setup with me, because you just never know what's going to happen. What are the odds of 2 horses running on a beach in that little pond lake thing, splashing up water with the amazing weather? That's very like a 1 in 300% chance that will happen. But again, if I go away somewhere else and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get any footage here, you just don't know what's going to happen. So it's always good to have something like this with you. Even just a Pocket, like I said, just a Pocket 4 Pro, at least you have something. But because of that one reason, I would have loved to capture them horses. Personally, for me, with my travel camera kit, I'll always bring this setup. So at the end of the day, my camera kit went from an absolute insane level of heaviness and just too much stuff to, I'm actually kind of glad I brought all of that, and I'm kind of glad I didn't bring it to that beach day, because now I kind of know my perfect travel camera kit, which is the R6 Mark III or the C50, probably the C50 just because I really don't like the in-body image stabilization of the R6 Mark III, and a 28-70, a pocket camera. When I went to Mallorca last year, I really wanted to bring my Pocket in the sea with me and I couldn't, so the Action 360 I've got, the DJI 360, that'll be coming with me as well. Again, it's so small and light, I won't feel it anyway, and my drone as well. I think I could fit all of that in my Peter McKinnon sling bag. So I don't know what this audio is like, but I'm just testing it on my Osmo 360, and today is the last day down in Cornwall, and we're just gonna have a really nice cool beach day. And this is another thing that I love taking with me when I am on my trips, is my Osmo 360, or just any action camera. But I happen to have the Osmo 360 mainly because of BTS content for its 360 wider view, but also because you can just have it as a normal traditional action camera. It can shoot 10-bit D-Log-M, which is really cool. And when I went to Mallorca last year, I only brought my Osmo Pocket 3, and we spent most of that holiday in the warm sea. This Cornwall sea is definitely not as warm, it's definitely freezing compared to Mallorca, but I definitely wanted to have a 360 camera for stuff like this, so when I am in the sea like now, I can bring my camera in and I don't have to worry about it because it's waterproof. I can get some really cool shots with the waves, don't have to worry about it getting damaged. But for the rest of this holiday, today, we're just gonna have a chill day by the beach. And I've not used, to be fair, the second part of this holiday, I've barely used my camera or my Pocket. I've just tried to enjoy it as much as I can. And yeah, definitely want to enjoy the rest of today by the beach and then get back home tomorrow. Let me know what your travel camera kit is. Like, what is your perfect kit? Do you want to take a full frame camera, maybe a smaller APS-C camera with a smaller lens, more of a, I think Canon do a 24-240 lens as well. Is that the perfect travel lens? It probably is, to be honest, over this because of the insane zoom range, but it is quite expensive for what it is for a variable aperture. I think it's like £900. But at the end of the day, that's probably the perfect travel lens. But if you want a 2.8 lens, a 28-70, I do think covers you pretty much as much as you need anyway. But leave your thoughts in the comments below. What is your perfect travel camera kit? If you did enjoy this video, hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. See you later.